Hello and welcome.
風よ。風よ。珍しいものか。わらわにも見せてみるといい。
行くぞ。
風よ、散れ。
悪くない。
風よ、散れ。やっと。
イエッ。役に立つならそれでいい。
はっ、風よ、散れ。 風よ散れ。
100年経とうが教令員のバカたルールは少しも変わっておらん。
Welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. The Geneva Convention, a last beacon of hope designed to preserve a shred of humanity in the midst of the unimaginable horrors of war, is completely violated by a girl with an inflatable shark floaty. Natlin is right around the corner, and with it comes our first Natlanian featured 5-star character, Mualani. Let's see how insane a Constellation Zero Mualani is with various free-to-play friendly 4-star weapons. What the heck is this video? Surprisingly, the creator experience server has made its way to Genshin Impact, and I'm super excited and thankful for the opportunity to bring my usual Constellation Zero showcases to you guys early. As with any creator experience server video, things are subject to change on release. So if there are any notable changes, please check the comments down below. Milani is a professional pufferfish volleyballer, Olympic Sharky surfboarder, and an 800 V-Bucks premium Fortnite dance spammer. That's quite the useful set of skills and resume for a penguinologist. Seriously, I have no idea what kind of job this combination of skills could net her. Milani is the perfect, fun-loving breath of fresh air to begin our journey through Natland, and she is, no joke, the 5th Hydro Catalyst user. Fortunately, besides being a wet book nerd, she plays nothing like the other Hydrocatalyst users. Milani will be using the brand new free-to-play friendly forgeable Ring of Yaksha, as well as the Widzith, both at Refinement 5. She's also using the new artifact set, Obsidian Codex, which provides her an ungodly 40% crit rate while she is in Night Soul's Blessing. And of course, her an ungodly 40% crit rate while she is in Night Soul's Blessing. And of course, she's at constellation 0 throughout this video, and her talents are at 9, 9, and 9. You'll notice this fantastical blessings arrow here on Milani as well as other characters in this video, but for some reason it's not applying to Milani's party on the Creator Experience server. We'll go through her bloated kit, multiple team showcases, nuke war crime showcases, and while I can't show you Abyss 12 footage, I can talk about what I think about her based on what I've experienced in the Abyss. Buckle up, kiddos, because you're going to need to remain strapped on to her hypersonic shark surfboard as she XDs all over her enemies. Starting with Milani's basic attacks, cooling treatment. Yo, editing, I went to lose here. And while editing, I noticed that it almost looks like the pufferfish actually bounces back at her for her to whack back at the enemy on her B3, although it's actually not doing that. It's a bit of an optical illusion, but the fact that they even made it look like this actually bounced back so she smacked it again is absolutely wonderful. Milani being in HP scaling for a base DPS character will shoot comically low amounts of damage with the attack scaling pufferfish volleyball attacks. It only has 3 main uses: applying Hydro, looking funny with its cartoon wind-up punch, and flashing the peace pose for thumbnails. Up next is her elemental skill, Surf Shark Wave Breaker. Okay, before you turn her Sharky surfboard into Sharky fin suit for not single cycling our Regisfine friend here, this is because it is an upgraded level 103 Regisfine at world level 9, which is much more durable than its world level 8 counterpart. Let's be real, she's also meant to be played with vape. Let's see how this free-to-play friendly build does with just vape. Free-to-play friendly build does with just vape. Yeah, she's already chomping for 152,285 damage per vape and convincingly two-shot our thick level 103 Regisfine friend. Let's just say our Regisfine friend bit off more than it could chew. Anyway, her skill is the most loaded part of the kit. Using her skill causes her to stop on her Sharky surfboard and enter Night Soul's Blessing. Then Milani will gain a stack of wave momentum whenever she bumps into an enemy, with a cooldown of 0.7 seconds per enemy that she bumps into. At 3 stacks, her Shark Chomps attack deals 1 Sharky Bite, 3 wave momentum, and 1 Sharky Surging Bite additional damage bonus, which equals a total of 73.79% HP scaling multiplier at talent level 9. This, by the way, is a lot. As you've likely seen, Yolong's huge forward base with her skill, which is only a 38.4% max HP scaling. As we can see, going from a 0-stack regular old Sharky bite to a 3-stack Sharky surging bite is a massive increase, and Milani generally wants to do these 3-stack Sharky surging bites as much as possible. There's also a Night Soul's points bar, which is hard to miss, and intuitively indicates how long she can stay on her Sharky surfboard. She starts with 60 Night Soul points, and her passive allows her level 3 Sharky surging bite to spawn a goofy little pufferfish, which I'm gonna name Sally. We immediately devour Sally and gain 20 Night Soul points. She can spawn a second pufferfish, Sally's brother, who I'm going to lovingly name Sam, which we also consume for another 20 Night Soul points, in total being able to spawn 2 pufferfishes during one use of her elemental skill. Counterintuitively to their own survival, Sally and Sam rapidly swim towards Milani to be eaten by her Sharky surfboard. Unfortunately, she can run away from Sally and Sam and fail to eat them in time, leading to a hungry shark that kicks you off early. So why do Sally and Sam swim to their deaths? Because they were blown away by Milani's success. In total, eating both Sally and Sam allows her to ride her Sharky surfboard long enough to perform 3 level 3 Sharky surging bites against a single enemy. Now things get even more complicated against multiple targets. Milani can actually get more stacks much more quickly against multiple targets because each enemy has an individual 0.7 cooldown for bumping into them. Since she can move through smaller enemies, she can effectively tag most enemies with her mark for prey. Then when her Sharky surging bite hits a target, each nearby enemy not including the target hit by Sharky surging bite, up to 4 shark missiles will be launched at them. The bite and the missiles do reduce damage, with 2 targets taking 14% less damage and 3 or more targets taking 28% less damage. Because she can actually reach 3 stacks faster against multiple targets, under ideal circumstances she is able to squeeze out 4 level 3 Sharky surging bites. Now there's a bunch more details that are still important, but I'm just going to throw onto the screen to preserve my sanity from meticulous editing. And needless to say, it feels jawsome to use her while exploring that land. She can use her Sharky surfboard to cross long runs of water, and it lasts for an especially long time due to loggy spawn mechanics, where she will consume Phlegm Gigalob energy once she runs out of Night Soul points. This allows her to combat her enemies for a very prolonged amount of time. This extra endurance, combined with her ability to detect local specialties, makes her great for exploration, especially in Natlan. Outside of Natlan, though, her exploration abilities are much more in line with the rest of the cast. And before we surf off, let's see what she can do with the Widsith, a slightly more crit fishy build, and a reasonable buff like Hydro Resonance. $277,953 damage. She was able to one-shot her level 103 Regispine friend with just a single chomp from her Sharky surfboard. After an 815-word thesis on Sharky surfboarding, we can finally swim on over to the next part of her kit, her Elemental Burst Storm Burst shot. And unfortunately for editing I went to lose, I have to explain an entirely new mechanic, Night Soul Burst. If you have any Natlan character in your party, and if literally any character in your party deals elemental damage, you'll see this full screen flash thing. The cooldown is shared party-wide, and the cooldown for having 1, 2, and 3 Natlan characters is 8, 12, and 9 seconds respectively to trigger a Night Soul Burst. So why does Night Soul Burst even matter? Well, Milani, being a Natlan character, has a passive that ties into the Night Soul Burst. Now in the previous clip, Milani only had 1 stack of Night Soul Burst, no Vape, and no Obsidian Codex buff. Let's take a look at this next example with Vape, the Obsidian Codex buff, and 3 Night Soul Burst stacks. Yeah, we went from 74,604 damage to 248,692 damage. This is why it's important to not judge a shark's stormburst shot by the cover of their catalyst, as the damage can drastically improve. Let's move on to her full kit showcase, this time against our robot chicken friend. The only hope she'll receive is some pyro octave application from Dea, and also keep in mind that this robot chicken is at level 103. So yeah, Milani did over 1 million damage with a clean 2 cycle of our robot chicken friend with just bait. Again, keep in mind this is a level 103 Aeon Blight trait, which makes it significantly more menacing and has roughly 1 million hit points instead of the usual 707,493 hit points that we are used to at world level 8. Overall, a fantastic performance.
Dan setia menerjang ombak di tengah teriknya matahari juga derasnya hujan.
Up next we have teams, starting with my personal favorite team for her, this fish to play friendly team. Even with the extremely stable and reliable Ring of Yak's-Chib weapon, this team was able to single cycle our 1 million robot chicken friend. Let's give this fish to play friendly team another try, but this time with the Widsid. Now we're seeing some seriously juicy baits, requiring just 2 chomps and a shark missile to take out a robot chicken. I also swapped Xiangling over to the archaic Petra, thanks to Kachina creating hydro crystallizes for her to pick up. Yeah, it's a pretty goofy setup, but funnily effective as well, as between Kachina and Xiangling, they're providing a Furina level of 75% bonus damage just thanks to their artifact sets, the Scroll of the Hero of Cinder's City and the archaic Petra. We can also observe that the buffs really start to taper off throughout the fight, as things like the Viridescent Veneer Swirl and various other buffs start to expire midway. And that is one of the big issues with Milani teams right now. Anyway, let's move on to another interesting team, the Burning Shark team. This team consists of 4 5-star characters and is thus much less free-to-play friendly, although you can substitute Dea for another pirate character. However, this team is overall a bit more comfortable than the fish-to-play team, because it does have Dea's tankiness and a much more Unga Bunga friendly playstyle thanks to the Dendra application, making it hard to prematurely add Hydra to the enemy and also not needing to swirl. Still, I actually prefer the fish-to-play friendly team more than this one because of the larger damage numbers from Milani, but that's just a personal preference. Up next we have the Rockfish team. good old Zhongli shield with double Geo. And in case you didn't notice, out of these teams, none of them actually have a healer. Still, we are able to provide a ridiculous 90% bonus damage thanks to the 2 artifact sets and Geo Resonance. Truly a rock hardcore team. And the last team is the fabulous Fishy Farina team. With Farina and Baiju, not only can we have a healer, but this team only took 3 Shark Chomps without the Shark Missile with the Ring of Yaxche to finish off our Robot Chicken friend. Farina deals a significant amount of damage, as well as we get quite a few free Burgeons, and Baiju helping us not lose the Pyro Aura. While this team is the only one I've showcased that actually has a healer, the other teams have Zhongli or a Catalyst user who I find myself using the Prototype Amber, which is generally enough to keep those teams alive. Finally, we've made it to the megalodon of this video, the nuke showcases. But really quick, if you are enjoying this video and found the early release of it to be helpful to you, be sure to like and subscribe, as that lets me know you want more creator experience server content for Genshin Impact. $1.47 million damage. I created a crystallized prior to this engagement so that way my archaic Petramona can grab it for 35% more hydro damage. Obviously this nuke was done with food and a crit fish as well as the Widsith, and I also chose our new big chubby friend here because it is very tanky for a world boss, having around 1.5 million hit points. But this really demonstrates how creative you can get with a character like Milani. But let's go even further beyond. Against everyone's favorite nuclear weapons testing site, Scaramucci's face. Yeah, you saw that correctly. 2.1 million damage. This is frankly a mind-boggling number for a Constellation Zero character's nuke. So yeah, we've reached that part of the video where I usually show you the character in this fault, but alas, we can't for this video. So I have used her in difficult content, and she is a very interesting character. Milani, especially for any team that uses the Viridescent Veneer, requires significant effort to effectively use. I've gotten too used to Nuvolet's single brain cell playstyle, so it was a bit jarring at first to use Milani. However, once I started getting in the groove of things, Milani felt very fun and rewarding to play, seeing successful large nuke setups and being rewarded for creative play. Now unfortunately, Milani does feel janky at times. I had issues with the camera and consistency issues when it came to eating Sally and Sam for more Night Soul points. When you mess up with Milani, it is also quite punishing, and her goofy playstyle doesn't make that easier. Also, at the moment, she has poor synergy with pretty much the entire cast. All the pyro applicators have serious issues, with Xiangling being the best and most reliable option in my opinion. Viridescent Veneer just has poor compatibility with her, since you generally need to swirl at the second to last spot in the rotation, meaning that its short 8-second window will expire midway, and we literally only have one other Natlan character currently, Kuchina, so we can't even bring out the most out of her passive. And Kuchina, while being a good user of the new Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City artifact set, literally provides nothing else in her kit to buff Milani unless, you pick up the Hydro Crystallize with the Archaic Petra. So what this all means is that there is a ton, and I mean a ton of room for Milani to grow. And even with all the aforementioned dysfunctional teams, she is still very powerful. pumping out massive vapes and being very rewarding to play. Personally, I think if she were to get a solid buffer and a solid pyro applier, Milani's strength will skyrocket and she will become a complete menace. However, as of 5.0, she's overall a solid, albeit awkward, but incredibly fun character. Let me know what you think about Milani down in the comments below and whether or not you plan to pull for her. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is Iwin. But funnily effective as well, as between Kuchina and Xiangling, they're providing a Serena level of 75% bonus damage just thanks to their artifact sets.
荒野にさまよう魂、我を傷つけられると思うな。
Menamatkan. Nah, begitulah. Yang saya mau ya. Man. Tuh. Kalau di PS. Tuh, PS. Satu. Opsi kedua sih. Itu sih. PS. Tunggal yang kuta ngelek tuh. Tunggal tak pernah menyerah.
Oh my god, this is quite literally what I used to play all the time. I feel like crying playing this. From what I understand, this class is like a hybrid range. So their skills radius hammer and this is a bomb.
Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Games. Today, we are going to take a quick look at what Constellation Zero can do.
悪くない品だ。
So what the heck is this video? The Creator Experience server has actually made its way to Genshin Impact, and I am super excited and thankful for the opportunity to showcase Kachina to you. Now, as with any Creator Experience server video, things are subject to change on release, so if there are any notable changes, please check the comments below. So the first thing about Kachina you'll notice is that she is arguably the newest, most head-pattable character in Genshin Impact, and I think that is a very important trait for her to have. Now, we are in Natlan at the moment. As you can see, this is actually just the entrance to Natlan, and I'm pretty sure we get Kachina pretty early on in our journey. Everyone will get Kachina for free. I'm actually happy to tell you that she feels feels pretty good to use, not only just in Natlin, but also she has some interesting application when it comes to her supporting capabilities in combat. But first, let's actually start with a bit of exploration. And we can actually toggle on and off the UI here, which I absolutely love. I've been using that a lot lately because it is just very immersive, and you can just hide the UI just like that. Look at that. And now we can see Natlin in all its glory. Looks absolutely fantastic. Now when it comes to exploration, especially in Natlin specifically, Kachina is incredible. Using her elemental skills, she can hop onto her whirly, durly, turbo, twirly, something like that. And you can just use it to climb walls like this. And once you're out of stamina, this main Night Soul bar, you start to burn these Phlogiston points, I believe, which is a unique stamina resource in Natlin specifically, and I believe it is mainly primarily with Natlin characters. So you can see how she can absolutely help you climb and scale tall walls like that, which is going to be very helpful for scaling a lot of these, bigger cliffs that we can see. Now, another really cool thing about her is that when it comes to using her with another Natlin character like Milani, what you can actually do is in Natlin, you can swap between the two and they'll get this cool little super fast switch boost just like that you saw. We can do this again. Zoom, just like that. And on top of that, she has that passive, which is very helpful, where it helps you find, resources unique to Natlin on the minimap. So this will help you farm Ascension materials. So definitely a great character to have in Natlin in your party, especially when you get here to just explore. Now, the next kind of more funny topic to talk about is her combat capabilities. And this is where things get a little bit more dicey. We're going to start off with a DPS build for her, and don't worry, her supporting capabilities are much better than her DPS capabilities. But I just want to show you guys how much damage you can expect if you were to really try to make her actually do damage. So here is her crit ratio. It's very reasonable considering I don't think she has crit essential stats. She has this new craftable spear polearm, which gives a ton of defense percent. Look at that. And for her artifact, she's using the 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dreams, and she will be at Constellation 0 throughout this video, and her talents are at 9, 9, and 9. And just to preface it, I do think that her DPS will improve with her constellations, particularly Constellations 3, 5, and 6. However, for now, she's at Constellation 0. So another quick thing to take note of is that this is at world level 9, so enemies are roughly 50-ish% more durable. In the Cryoregifine's case, I believe it's like 57% more durable. We can see here that it is at level 103 instead of what we're used to at level 93. Let's go ahead and take a look at the damage that she can do. We can hop under Whirly Twirly, use her burst, and then start bouncing on the enemy like so. And I think I missed out on one bounce, but honestly, who cares? We can see here that it did an absolutely pitiful amount of damage to the Registry. We can see all her cooldowns are still there, so it is not looking promising for her when it comes to a DPS perspective. So let's take a look at a full team showcase for Kachina. So here we go. We're going to go on the Pyroregifine because we're going to bring Mona, and then we have to wait for roughly 15 to 18 seconds before we actually start the rotation. So that way we're going to start to just kind of pop the Regifine's little core here, pop this bubble, and just like this. There we go. And let's go ahead. So this is kind of like the maximum amount of damage you can expect from a C0 Kachina. 97,000 damage. Let's go, single cycle, yes! We did it. We managed to barely single cycle the Pyroregifine with C6 Goro as well as Mona's buffs, and well, Zhongli as well helps a bit too. I can't recommend her as a DPS character right now. However, as you can see, we're still able to do a little bit of damage, so yeah.
Tales have it that clashes of the gods set Asperia ablaze. In a world torn by the echoes of devastation, hope descended in silence. The chosen voyager of the prophecy would arrive, seeking the swords long lost to time, leading the heroes into this new journey.
May these powers save this beloved land and bring forth light. Now, don't let us rise yet again.